I want to talk about policing. Mr. Magaziner, lawmakers have previously considered a bill that would remove the protections for police officers from civil suits known as qualified immunity. Opponents of qualified immunity say it shields police officers who behave badly, but supporters say getting rid of it would have a chilling effect on officers who have to make split-second decisions. Would you vote for or against a bill that eliminates qualified immunity for police officers?
Well, first of all, police officers play a very important role in our communities, keeping our communities safe. And I support community policing that builds stronger bridges between the police and the communities that they serve. That being said, I believe that anyone in a position of power should be held accountable if they abuse that power. And to be clear, we're not talking about everyone, we're talking about the few bad apples who abuse their power for one reason or another. That's just as true in policing as it is in any other walk of life. Those who are in a position of authority, if they abuse that authority, should be held accountable. And so I do think that we need to look at reforming qualified immunity. And I also think that that same principle applies to everyone, including former presidents who break the law and act like they're above the law. We need to have community policing, and we need to have accountability for those who abuse their power.
So open to eliminating qualified immunity for police officers?
I'm open to discussing reforms because I do think that if someone abuses
I'm not
their
asking
power
about,
in any role,
I'm asking about a specific reform, qualified immunity.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah, open to reforms.
Ms. Morgenthau?
You know, I worked at the Department of Homeland Security. I worked closely with law enforcement. I worked with our Customs and Border Patrol. I worked with our TSA men and women. I worked with local and state law enforcement. We were working on figuring out ways to combat domestic terrorism, and I know how difficult it is for law enforcement to always know what is going on. We need to support law enforcement, but at the same time, we need to make sure that we are investing in mental health, in social services, in faith-based organizations, so that we have eyes and ears on the ground in our communities to make sure that our young people are not getting radicalized. So I think that we need to support our law enforcement. I know many well, have worked with them very closely. I saw a report recently that was talking about the importance of trying to have more women in the police, because then maybe everybody would behave a little bit better. And so I think that we need to constantly be looking at reforms, but at the same time, we need to give our law enforcement and our police
But as a congressperson, you would have to vote for or against a bill. Would you vote for or against a bill that would eliminate qualified immunity?
I don't think I would vote against it at this time.
So you would vote for it?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel.
I'm proud over the course of my time in office and even before office to have been part of efforts to institute appropriate oversight of the police department in Providence during the end of the Cianci era, for instance. That's part of what spurred me to run for office back in 2002 and join the city council in Providence. And I'm proud to have supported community policing initiatives in my district at the time and across the city. And I think we need to look towards similar reforms to be encouraged at the federal level, including, for instance, seeking to have COPS funding, which is DOJ's community policing program, be tied to appropriate civilian oversight. And I would support the legislation you've named to lift qualified immunity.
Right. Ms. Fox?
I think we need to do all we can to work together to make our communities safer. And that means supporting efforts like community policing. And we need to make sure that we're balancing when police officers are not following their own rules against the protections in our community. I have loved ones who are police officers as well, and I know how you have to make decisions in a split second. So we need to figure out ways to make sure that our communities are safer and our police are able to do the job at hand.
As I said to Ms. Morgenthau, though, you'd have to vote for or against a bill if it came, to your desk.
I'm open to studying it and understanding it more.